guys, it's Bryony. So finally she gets around to doing this video. Yes, I know, it's been highly requested for me to do an update on my experience with the Cerazette pill. I did a video back in, earlier this year, April May time, when I had been taking the Cerazette pill for around 7 to 8 weeks, and I was talking about my first sort of early experiences with using the pill, and I said I would do an update on that, which I'm now finally getting around to today. As I film this, it is currently the 6th of January, so I started taking the pill around mid-March last year, so almost 10 months now that I have been on Cerazette. So Cerazette is a desogestrel pill, which is the progesterone only one, and I'm on the 75 microgram desogestrel one, as I said before. So just a quick recap of why I went on this pill. I basically got fed up finally of having really painful periods, and I decided to take the risk and try a hormonal contraceptive. I've always been really against them because I have Lyme disease and my body tends to react funny to stuff. Editing Bryony here. Just want to add in that I completely forgot in this video for some reason that this isn't actually the first contraceptive I've tried. I have taken the contraceptive patch before, but I had to stop that one after only a few weeks because I did have some very severe side effects from it. Don't know why I forgot about that for this video. I claimed that the pill was the first one I tried. It's not, but it is the first pill that I've tried, so just want to make that little correction there. And also because I just didn't really want to have hormones in my body, but my periods were becoming so bad. I have adenomyosis, which makes my periods incredibly painful, and I was just so fed up of having to plan my life around my periods, and it was just really annoying. So I thought, well, if nothing else, I want to just sort of have a year off of my periods. I just want them to stop being painful, and I'll just give it a go. I'd kind of reached the point where I'd really had just had it, and I did talk about this in the last video, but that's kind of why I decided to go onto the pill. Now, I can't really remember the first few weeks, so like I said, if you want to know what my first experience was, you'll need to watch that first video. I'll try and put a link down below to it of what my first few weeks were like. But I do remember when I first started taking this, I felt quite tired, I think, and quite hormonal, like quite moody. My mood swings were like this, up and down. It was, however, also the time that the COVID pandemic was starting, so it's kind of hard to tell whether it was simply the pill or the COVID or a mixture of both, which I think is much more likely. But certainly after about 3 or 4 weeks, I think I did stabilise out with my moods. And I was having, the last time I updated you, I think, sort of sporadic bleeding. So that did continue on, I think, for a couple more months. I believe my last period that I actually had, spotting that I had, was in June last year, 2020. And then after that, it just stopped completely. So I now don't have periods at all. I don't get any spotting, don't get any bleeding. Occasionally I'll get a little bit of like brown discharge. But that's it. I don't get periods at all. I don't get any cramps, and it has just been wonderful. Apologies, I've just realised the lighting has changed yet again because of the British weather. I'm sorry. I honestly don't think that this pill could have gone any better for me. It really has. I lucked out because this is the first ever contraceptive I've tried to control my periods. I really didn't want to go on an IUD. I really didn't want the Mirena. I wanted more control than that. I wanted something that I would be able to stop instantaneously if I had a severe reaction to it because of my Lyme. Slight side effects I could deal with, but anything serious I wanted to be able to like stop it right then and then, so I really wasn't comfortable with the idea of taking the Mirena. And so I have taken this pill. I was a bit worried about whether or not I'd forget to take it. I think I've only had one day the whole 10 months that I've forgotten to take it. And then there was one time I was in hospital, not for myself, for one of my little ones, and ended up staying overnight unexpectedly and hadn't taken my pill with me, so then I had to take it later on. But the good thing about this pill is you can take it anything up to 12 hours within a 12-hour time share. So I usually take it around 10 o'clock in the morning, but as long as I take it within 12 hours of that, it's fine. So it's not, you don't have to stick religiously to the same time, although I do have an alarm I set on my phone for 10 AM each morning, which is when I try and take it. So occasionally it might be a little bit like an hour or two later or something, depending on what's happening, but that's absolutely fine, which is one of the really good things I think about this pill, as I said before. In terms of side effects now, I currently have none. I don't experience any particular tiredness, don't have any mood swings, I haven't really noticed any increase or decrease in my libido. It's not exactly been the best year anyway for libidos, let's be honest, but I genuinely can't think of anything that I've noticed where I've been like, oh my gosh, this is so weird. No nausea or anything like that. My body accepted it quite quickly and settled down. And as I said, like now my periods have stopped, it's been fantastic because I no longer have to think about if I'm planning something, although again, not a lot to plan at the moment, but even virtual things, having to plan whether I'm going to have my period that week, will I be up to it, how am I going to make it work, etc, etc. That doesn't exist in my life anymore, and that is like, oh my god. I can't remember the last time I was able to just book something in without thinking about whether or not I was going to have my period. So that has been incredible for me. The pills themselves are like tiny, as you can see, they're like these little white pills here. They have no taste them or anything. They're really easy. I just take them in the morning with a glass of juice or water or what have you, and yeah, no problem at all. As I said before, I was worried about whether or not I'd forget to take them, but that's not been the case. I just set an alarm and I've done it, and I don't find it to be a particular like impediment to my day having to take the pill, where rather than having something like internally, like in my arm or in my uterus, like an IUD. It hasn't bothered me like having to take a pill each day, so that's been really good. I mean, I have to take pills daily anyway, so to be honest, adding an extra one in that's tiny doesn't make much of a difference to me. But if you're really bad at remembering to take stuff, I just recommend setting a timer on your phone or an alarm in the morning for when you know you'll be up and you're going to take it, and that's just what I've done. And then always make sure you have a drink by your bed if you're like me and you take it next to your bed. But yeah, I genuinely can't think of any cons to this so far from my experience. Everyone reacts to things differently, so I can't promise you'll have the same effect. But for me, it's been, as I said before, it's been life-changing, and I've made sure both times now, before the pandemic started in lockdown and before our second lockdown, that I went and got more of it because I did not want to run out of it at all. And it's been very easy. If you live in the UK, contraception is free, so you just go to your GP and say you'd like to try this particular contraception. They should write your prescription, you take it to the pharmacy and they'll give it to you. So I've just basically have a repeat prescription now that I just take to the pharmacy and then they hand it over, so it's really easy. I think initially when I went onto this pill, my plan was kind of to just stop my periods for a year to give myself a break and then maybe come off it and see how they were again. But to be honest, I now have like no inclination to come off it because it's been so good. Little bit of a problem for this channel because I talk about periods and I have been reviewing period products for many years. My life honestly right now is just so much better and I could do so many more things that I don't particularly want to. So I'm going to have to kind of reassess what I do with this channel and still talk about periods and menstruation in general because it's important, and I probably will have them again at some point. But for right now, I'm definitely going to stick with this because like I said, it's just been so amazing for me. I hope that kind of answers your questions, guys. I know it's not a super long video I've done here, but honestly, I don't think there's really anything else to talk about. Like I said, I haven't had any major side effects. My periods took a couple of months to completely stop, but they did gradually decrease, and as they were decreasing, the pain actually got less and less. So as I started to just get spotting, I'd still have a few cramps, but ibuprofen was more than enough to handle that. And whilst there are risks with taking the pill, the amount of ibuprofen I had to take beforehand as well, that also carries risk. It can cause like holes in your stomach lining and everything. So, you know, for me, they both carry risk, and I would right now rather be giving my body a break from taking all those really strong pain meds to take the pill. And, you know, if that has some side effects, so be it. But my period was impossible to manage without pain medication before it, so there was no option of me not taking some kind of medication and not taking some kind of risk. So it's about weighing up which one is the right risk. Even paracetamol carries risks too. So whilst they're rare, and again the same with the pill, they're rare, just worth being aware of them. And just deciding what's right for you and your body, and nobody else. I can't tell you what's right for your body, nobody else can. You have to decide when you're ready to do something, and for me it took me 7-ish years to get to that point of being like, finally, okay, I'm ready to try the pill. But I needed to get there myself to do it and not be persuaded, you know, pushed into it by someone else, because I wouldn't have been happy with that. But when I was ready and I went to the doctor and I asked for it, it was a much easier process, and I've, you know, as I said, I'm really glad I did it now. One thing I should just correct from my previous video that I stated was that this pill does not stop you ovulating. Usually progesterone only pills don't, but the desogestrel one does, particularly the Cerazette one does, so I don't ovulate anymore. That was a big thing for me before because I didn't want to stop ovulation. I thought that would be really awkward for me, like I wasn't happy with that idea, but actually it's not bothered me having done that. So yeah, just wanted to mention that this one does stop you ovulating. But I do hope this video was helpful for you guys, and thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about different types of contraception or other experiences you want to share, do leave them down in the comments below. It's always great to encourage these conversations to happen so that other women and girls can see, you know, what might work for them and what might not. But of course, always ask your doctor for advice. Don't take what you see off the internet, but it's good to kind of share experiences just from a sort of friendships and general community point of view. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. Do please subscribe. If you do still have your periods, don't forget you can get cloth pads from my website, Precious Stars. The link is down below. And as we've now left the EU, there's no more tampon tax. Hey, great job for tampon tax to be done. So that's also really awesome. So they're slightly cheaper as well if you are in the UK or formerly the EU. We do still ship everywhere, just so you know. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.